Yeah. So we're going to do things a little different tonight. First, I'm going to say what up to all the Eagles fans watching, right? All the fans of other teams, all the people that just watch because they love the energy from the show. Shout out to everybody. But y'all know it's Wednesday night. It's 8:30 p.m. So we know what's happening. Eagles Elite Podcast. All Eagles, all the time. So what I'm going to do first, man, is we're going to bring up the squad. Y'all know how we do this. This ain't your first week watching. And if it is, we're going to introduce ourselves to you. It's your boy, Cool McCain, Eagles Elite, play callers, so many more. Now, only the Eagles matter.
Yes, sir. What's going on,
man?
Not too much, man. I'm ready to dive into this crazy off, since the last game. I'm ready to dive into everything. Breaking news, everything, Philadelphia Eagles. It's going to be a very eventful show tonight.
Let's go. All right, and then we're going to bring on the first of our two divas for the night, Miss J Swoop. How are you doing today, ma'am?
I'm doing great. Hi, Bird Gang family. Happy Thanksgiving.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we're going to bring on the second of our divas here.
Bird Gang, Eagles Nation. What's good? I'm good. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Okay. Absolutely, absolutely. And last but not least, it's the return of the rowdiest man on the show. Rowdy Rob. Flip a few changes here, guys. I want to set it up a little different, right? We just need to see people in different places sometimes, right? Just switch it up a little bit. Have some fun with it.
I like that the girls' pictures are bigger, so it takes away from the mediocrity of the fellas looking the way we do. Gotta put the girls first, quick, man. Divas.
I want to shout out Alyssa. How are you doing, Alyssa? Appreciate you
Alyssa.
Hopping in.
Alyssa, Eagles locker room.
What up, hang around with us, and we do some talking. But guess what? Before we do any of that, there's one thing we got to get to. This has got to happen every week because without this, it's just not the same. Let's go.
The kick is away, and the kick it's gone! And the Eagles win!
It's hard to come to South Philadelphia and leave here with the win. You just don't come to Philadelphia and leave here with the win.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you. Let the celebration begin.
Yo, that beat got that swag, dog. I was trying to freestyle that shit with the Rona over here.
For some reason, that does not surprise me, sir. That does not surprise me. So, Wyatt, man, you're our guy for the breaking news, man. So talk to us. But I do have a piece of breaking news before you get to that, sir. I just want to let everybody know if you are not aware. Oh, thank you, Alyssa, for this. Well, let me throw it up there. Happy late birthday.
Oh, listen, you stole my shine, girl. I'm about to put him on blast.
Hey, appreciate you guys. Appreciate y'all. But just a bit of breaking news, man. The Eagles are 9-1. Just in case you didn't know that yet, the Eagles are 9-1. And guess what? No one else is. And guess what? No one else is 8-2 either. A little more breathing room. Not upset about it. Not upset about it. But I'll turn this over to Wyatt.
Right. Hey, thanks, Minnesota. Thanks, Minnesota, for keeping balance on our back a little bit with that loss. It put you in second place, put them in fifth. Whatever.
Yeah, Minnesota. So hey, they're gonna be them.
Yeah, I only got a couple things this week. As of right now, they officially are saying that. Well, it's not official, but from what they're saying within the locker room and the organization, Dallas Goedert will be back during the regular season. It's not season ending. It seems like we're not going to have to wait for the playoffs for him to come back. It seems like he's going to be back at some point here during the regular season. And as far as one of the other players on IR, Jordan Davis, who we've been talking about a lot here these past couple weeks. They're saying he has a pretty decent chance of returning against the Titans as soon as he's eligible to return. So, I mean, there's been videos this past week or two of him walking around the locker room like no brace or anything. So it seems like he's going to be a full go whenever he's designated to come off the IR. So that's just going to add even more depth to this defensive line that, just keeps growing at this point, it seems. The other two things I have here, as of today, the Eagles have hired former Colts offensive coordinator Marcus Brady. And I guess it's going to be more of like a consultant role, but even though he's an offensive coordinator, apparently he's going to be working with Jonathan Gannon with the defense, kind of preparing this defense and also helping to find ways how other teams are going to be attacking our defense from what I'm seeing. So that's a pretty interesting hire. My assumption is Frank Reich's going to be back eventually. I mean, everybody kind of assumed that was going to happen when he got fired. But I mean, I don't know if it's this season or next season, but my guess is as long as Nick Sirianni's here, there's going to be a home for Frank Reich if he doesn't find like a head coaching job somewhere else. And then just the last thing, of course, everybody knows probably by now, we are having a blackout game for Sunday night against the Green Bay Packers. We're introducing the new black helmets that they're brand spanking new. We've never used them before. And of course I had to wear, the Brian Dawkins black jersey here tonight in honor of that. So, I'm very excited to see the new look that we're going to be debuting, and hopefully we can get things kind of back on track, which we'll be talking about later in the show as far as playing the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
We got that blackout theme going, baby. Yeah.
We got on the black hoodie.
Yeah.
But everybody enjoy those black jerseys this year because you won't see them again after this year. Instead, you'll be seeing the Kelly Green, and I'm not upset.
No, not at all. Let me get all that Kelly Green shit. I got my 5 pairs of sneakers that match all that green shit. Let me get that.
Kelly Green is sweet.
It is.
Yes.
I love it. I can't wait to see it next year.
Are they going back to the Cunningham throwbacks?
I don't know. That's what I was wondering, is if they were actually going to use the old Eagles logo or what.
The wing on the helmet?
So they're going to have the helmet. It's going to be.
I know, but with the wing on the helmet?
Yeah, they'll have the helmet. It's just I'm not sure if they're just going to have the regular number like they did in 2010 or if they're actually going to have the old like throwback.
Like the old Cunningham joint.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what version they're going to go with. It'd be cool if they could bring
what if they go back to the Carmichael Jones, man? Woo, that'd be fire.
Yeah.
Those a little bit before the Kelly Green, though. Those weren't really Kelly Green.
Right, but still, the whole jersey was hot because you didn't have nothing on that but the wings on the Jones like this. It was tight.
As long as they don't bring back those blue and yellows, I'm cool.
Nah, man, come on, man. You just dissed my stuff, man. You know Brian Westbrook used to wear that joint and just freak out in that bitch. Yeah. Love you, bub. Have a good day. Be safe going home, man.
I freaked out watching it, but, I felt like it was urine on half of the jersey. Personal preference, personal thoughts, but that's what I saw.
That's all right. That's all right.
I saw Carolina blue and urine, and I'm like, no, this doesn't go together. No.
Yeah, see, that's another thing. Yeah, it reminded me a lot of them baby blue Charger Jones. I didn't like that either. Yeah. I don't like none of that shit. Come on, man. Philly, represent. Green.
I get it, man.
It's my favorite color. I don't care what shade it comes in. Give it all to me in green.
Breaking news. So let's go ahead and jump into something a little juicy here, guys. And we may have some difference of opinions on this. So we're going to be reviewing the Colts game. And since our guy, Rowdy Rob, I know has a lot to say, we're going to let him start off here.
Yeah, let me start.
Thanks,
cool.
Brian.
I have the number one. I didn't get to read that comment. Sorry about that. Look, man, that game, it was just the nastiest, disgustingest. It was just overall. Yeah, it was like I just wanted to throw up the whole time I was watching it. But then I remembered how much alcohol I was drinking because that's how much it made me drink to watch this bullshit. And then I was like, no, don't waste the alcohol. So then I kept it in and just got aggravated because I kept watching this stupid shit. And then Jalen Hurts did what he does, and then we won. So look, I know it's all nasty and ugly, and there's a whole bunch we could say. The best thing I will say about this team is that the run defense was better than it was against the Redskins, and Jalen Hurts is still a demigod. That's it.
So, Swoop, what you got?
Well, it was not the best game in the first 3 quarters, but we came off. We were 8-0. Last week we lost. We come into that can't be easy for any team. I've never played professional sports, but that could not have been easy for the Eagles coming into the Colts game. We held them down, 1 touchdown in the first quarter, and our defense did an outstanding job after that. And the Eagles, we did what we do. I could have done with less penalties on the offense in the beginning and a little bit on special teams, but our defense had 0 penalties. And Jalen Hurts, I am Batman, came through like the leader he is in the end. To me, this game proved how tough the Eagles are. It's very hard when I watch it the first time. I'm like Rob, I get very emotional, and I'm going through the remote through the TV, and then I have to get drunk, and then I have to rewatch the game again. And then when I rewatch, that's the truth. When I rewatch the game again, then I see, okay, obviously they made mistakes. Every team is going to say mostly they can do better when it's like that. But this proved who we are. We came back from so far in the fourth quarter. Only Eagles can do that. That's all we've ever done. It doesn't matter that we won by 1 point or 37. Actually, it does, because this is better than winning 40-3 or whatever. We came back in the very last quarter. We kept grinding. We kept going on for, 4 sacks on Ryan, 1 combined by our 2 new defensive tackles. It was amazing. The first time I watched it, not so much.
Yo, Swoop. Am I hearing shots fired with the 40-3 or what?
Maybe. No, Arlington, no. No. Maybe. But obviously there are things that they could have improved, but they did that during the game. While the game was going on, they made mistakes. I mean, come on, don't hold the ball so someone smacks it out of your hands. That's obvious. Brown drop it, making a fumble. It's going to happen. The point is to see where you made the mistakes, correct it, come back. We held them back. They only had field goals after that. And in the end, we won. That's what we do. So I was very proud of them after I watched that game.
Eagles Diva, what you got for us?
I think we probably needed another game like that to still fix what we haven't been fixing when we watch a film. Defense really tightened it up. Like after they realized that they let the first 25-yard, 50-yard run go through, they realized, okay, we got to tighten up. So they did make the adjustments and they tightened up. So I do appreciate that. And then the whole time they held in. I'm really not sure why the offense keeps abandoning the run game. I think Miles only had like 2 touches in the first 2 quarters beginning. So I think they need to understand that the running game is really important. Like the running game opens up everything else. And I'm glad Jalen was able to overcome, but I don't always want him running that ball like that. It scares me a lot for him to be running the ball and feeling like he got to go run it. And, you got 2 great running backs. There should be no reason why, you should have to run that ball. So I need for them to understand and adjust on that. But other than that, I'm glad we came out with that W. It was an ugly win. I really hope that we go in and really watch the film and adjust what we're not doing right, especially on offense. Defense was able to adjust fine, but you still got to watch Gannon. So I'm glad that, we were able to bring somebody else in to help him out. But yeah, at the end we prevailed. It wasn't pretty, and everybody's like, "Oh, y'all barely beat them. Y'all struggled." That's what you need. Like, hey, we a team. We like every other team in the NFL. You're gonna have your Sundays and your days when you struggle, and we struggled, but we prevailed at the end. So we got that W. That's all that matters.
Very true.
Hey, Diva, the first thing I was going to say to you was, did they need to run the ball a little bit? Because I knew you were going to be on it, girl.
You don't be on a run the ball. Like
Run the dang ball.
Run it. It just opens up the field. Like
Yeah.
you want to keep throwing it. Okay, just run the ball. Then you got the opportunity to throw it. I don't know why I don't understand that.
Looking like somebody
Alyssa,
knows what they're talking
say
about.
less.
Really?
Alyssa, say less. Why? What are your
Yeah,
thoughts, man?
January 4th. Come on with it, girl.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everybody hit the nail on the head. We definitely need to be running the ball a lot more, especially with Goddard being out. They need to kind of help that offense get going a little bit more. It's him being out had more of an impact than I thought it was going into the game. I mean, especially with how we saw Jack Stoll playing when we saw him, I thought there was going to be kind of not a simple plug and play, but I thought it was going to work out a lot better than it did. But it seemed like every tight end we put out there had a penalty at some point in the game. So hopefully this is a game that it kind of gets them acclimated into the game situation. That way we don't have these problems going forward. But the offense being a little sluggish here these past 2 weeks is a little concerning, especially with the weapons that we have. So it shouldn't be this hard to get it going. Some of the play calling in this game was a little shaky. I don't know what Shane Steichen was thinking in some of these things. I don't like how they have been using Boston Scott in a lot of these situations as well, when Miles Sanders should be in the game in some of these crucial spots. And like Diva said, we shouldn't be having Jalen Hurts running the ball as much as it is. But I mean, it gets to that point in these games, as we've noticed, where if things aren't going right on the offense, Jalen's going to, force it. He's going to run. If things aren't working, if receivers aren't catching it, or if they're just not getting separation, Jalen's going to take matters into his own hands and go out here and try to save the game, which is exactly what happened. But we shouldn't be in the position where we have to do this. Unlike the Washington game, I'm going to give the Colts credit because I think they do have a better defense than Washington does. They've actually had a decent defense this whole season. Their offense has really been the main problem there. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt on that one as far as the offense here, but they definitely need to get things correct going into a Sunday night matchup against Green Bay. Even though Green Bay hasn't been a great team, you still can't overlook them. That's the reigning MVP. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that was bad about this game, but it's encouraging to see, like what everybody mentioned here, how well we do whenever we're down. Whenever it's not looking very good, everybody still has their head in the game. I don't know how Jalen is so cool sitting there on the sideline, just blank, like no emotion. He's just ready to go out here and go out and win the game. And that's what you need out of a franchise QB, is that killer instinct, man. And I'm glad we have this dude on the squad, because I don't know if we would have been winning that game with anybody else,
Yeah, definitely agree, man. A lot of talk, a lot of things said about we haven't beaten anybody. We still haven't beat anybody. We beat the Colts.
Colts beat the Chiefs.
Hey, man. Colts beat the Chiefs. The Colts still have to play the Giants and the Arlington football team. So
That's
there are
what I'm saying,
other
like,
games.
Colts beat the Chiefs.
It's
the NFL.
It's not a game for game thing. Each game situation is different. Beating the 9-1 Eagles, you're getting up for that game, right? We're not undefeated anymore, but we're 9-1. We're the only 9-1 team in the NFL. There's 2 8-2 teams, and that would be the Chiefs, and that would be the Vikings. But no one else has 9 wins. So the point is, you're going to get up when you're playing the best. And I don't care what pissant. Got so upset right there. I had to calm down for a second. I don't care what these pissant rankings say, right? I don't care about any of that. We are the best team. And it's not because I'm a fan. It's because the fact is, you win the most games, you're the best team until the Super Bowl. You win the Super Bowl, then you're the best team. But as of now, the best team is the one who has the most wins.
You're the best team
goes
to the
whoever
playoffs.
it is. Right
And
now,
since we get a bye in the first round, that'll make us the best in the first week of that too.
We don't have a bye. We don't have a bye yet. We have nothing yet. We have 9 wins right now. So the playoffs don't start next week.
Oh, that's a segment later. My bad. I was on. I was in the rabbit hole again, guys. My bad.
And we don't care. And the point of the matter is, keep talking. Keep saying we can't win. Keep saying that we haven't played anybody. Keep saying that there's no way we're going to go deep in the playoffs. All the smoke. all the smoke, all the negative comments. It's all motivation for the guys that wear the green or the black on their back or the white, depending on the week. And the more you motivate them, the better they're going to be. The better we play, and the fact that we're winning games and we're still not getting in respect, this reminds me so much of 2017. And we all know how 2017 ended. So continue. Don't change. If we don't lose another game all year, don't change. Still talk about how we haven't played anybody. All that crap that you're saying, all the hate that you're spewing, keep doing it. And, for 1 week, I'm going to say, Cowboys fans, thank you. Because I don't know how anybody else feels on this panel, but you beating Minnesota gives us a little breathing room. So I appreciate that. I'm not worried about you in the division because we're going to take care of that ourselves. If you're a fan of the Dallas Cowboys,
Arlington.
Or you're on any team with no. This is serious talk. If you're a fan of Dallas Cowboys and you're watching this show or any other show that I am on, I want you to understand something. In 2022, you are our sons.
June bugs.
I don't care if Cooper Rush is playing. I don't care if you go pull Troy Aikman out of retirement. I don't care if you go pull Tony Romo out of retirement. I don't care if you get Rain Dakota is back there. You're going to lose the game because you can't stop the run. And no matter how stupid the offensive coordinator is, for one game, he's going to be able to say, oh, this is Dallas. We better run the ball. So I want everyone to understand those things. A lot of that doesn't apply to this specific game, but I don't need to apply to this specific game because I have 4 undereducated people who've already done that for you. The Colts did what they were supposed to do. They came out and they tried to duplicate what Washington did the week before. Here's the difference, and I said this last week. Everyone doesn't have the ability to do what Washington did, which is get turnovers that were kooky. We don't turn the ball over like that. The A.J. Brown turnover, that's not something that normally happens with us. But you overcome those things, but they did not get 3. So here's the thing. If you can't win a turnover battle against the Philadelphia Eagles, I don't care who you are. You're not going to win the game. That goes for anybody in the AFC. That goes for anybody in the NFC, including everyone wants to play the best team in the league in the NFC now. It's supposed to be the 49ers. So 49ers, Chiefs, I want y'all to understand something. If you don't win a turnover battle, this is not 2021. You are going to lose, period. Unless you come at us like the Commanders did and we're now in our best game and you play your best game, you're going to lose. And that's a fact. So, guys, does anyone else have any other thoughts?
My chick told me to tell you guys this. She said that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be the AFC champions and they're going to play Philly in the Super Bowl. That's what she said. Predicted.
And what are the Chiefs' record again? Are they 8-2? Yes, they are. And what are we?
8-2.
And we're what?
9-1.
They're the best team so far.
No, I don't think so. But that's another day. We'll talk about that.
Scrub Zero, what's going on, man? Appreciate you checking us
30
out.
looks.
Yeah, I wanted to mention about how
on the Colts game, guys.
Yeah, I wanted to mention how great it was to see Brandon Graham and Quez Watkins kind of, come out this very next game after what happened against Washington and go out and make some big plays. Quez had that huge touchdown and Brandon Graham had that nice sack there towards the end of the game. So, it was nice to see them really go out and, make an effort to improve and go out and make those big plays, especially after what happened the previous week. And man, like we've already mentioned with adding Son and Linville, they've been great additions so far. And once Jordan Davis comes back, man, that defensive line should be eaten and should be stopping that run too. I'm not nearly as worried about the run as I was last week, especially, they only had a couple days to know the playbook coming into this game and look how much of an impact they made. I can't wait to see what happens going forward once they actually know the whole playbook and they're getting more reps.
Are we doing a wrap up? Because I'd like to touch on that.
Definitely.
Yeah, the defense, the Eagles addressed what happened in Washington immediately and said, without Jordan Davis, we don't have nothing that's going to be capable to stop the run. They went out, adjusted immediately, picked up 2 older studs anyway, whatever, veteran D linemen, and they immediately came in and had an impact, and you held the last year's leading rusher to under 100 yards. I mean, I just think it was stout. I think it was stout. I mean, they were just getting acclimated gameplay in that first drive. And then after that, it was like, let's go. We're here. We're coming to play. And they really held us down because without them, that game could have got real ugly real fast. And, that D, take that D. Woo!
I'm not touching that. I'm
No.
not touching that.
Please don't.
Anything else? Anyone else wants to say about this Colts game before we move on?
No, I was proud of him. I really was. Not the first 3 quarters, but that's how Philly plays. We pull it out in the end. Hurts was the leader he was supposed to be.
I don't like all that heart attack bullshit, though. Come on, man, guys. Ooh, man.
That's how Philly is.
Man, look,
that's how Philly is.
Yeah, if you lost it, you would feel worse. So you'll be over. You'll be okay.
Look, it got to halftime, and I was like, "Oh, no, I need a drink." I was in bed watching.
You probably would need a drink if we were up too, sir. If we're just being honest.
Yeah, I was still sick, man, and I still went and drank alcohol that day because that game was pissing me off. Guess what? I got better the next day. Somehow, whiskey does that. Since you're
so pissed off, man, how about you tell us who's your player or pariah of the game?
The demigod, Jalen Hurts. He's a star, man. He's so calm, cool, and collected. He has so much poise, and he's not like this guy that's been in the league for 5+ years, but he has that already. He has this charisma. He shows it by leading the team with his posture, which is totally calm. And that is a thing that the Eagles could build on for years. Because if you have a leader in a quarterback, the way that he leads these guys, how I see it anyway, what my perception is that he is leading this team. And that even with Kelsey with that bad snap at the goal line, Kelsey was mad at himself because he knew that Jalen was upset about the play. Not that he was upset with Kelsey because mistakes happen, but that he was upset because they didn't get into the end zone and Kelsey felt like he let him down. So he's mad as hell at himself now, right? Because Jalen's the leader. Everybody knows it, and if you let the leader down, you always kind of feel bad, when you're on the team and you had a captain or, all the different sports and stuff like that. When you let the leader down, you're like, or whatever, or if I was the leader that they let me down, then it was, whatever. But I'm going in a rabbit hole, man. Just leave me alone. I just liked it, man. I just like that everybody follows this guy. He's a great player, and he'll continue to be in this league for many years. I'm positive of it.
Why? Who's your player?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to do it, but I'm gonna say the same thing. It's Hurts season, man. I'm gonna go with Jalen Hurts. Mainly for a lot of the reasons you were saying. He was staying calm, cool, and collected. But man, he really seems like he knows what to do at the right time. I mean, he was making some great throws. I mean, there was a couple of them that weren't caught by the receivers, but he was putting the ball into some tight windows. It seems like he's improving every single week, not just from last year, but I'm saying even this season, he's improving every single week, it seems. And he did exactly what was necessary to go out and win the game. And if that means using his feet, that's what he had to do. Because, I mean, we talked about past couple weeks, he's been really kind of sticking in that pocket and using the pocket and throwing the ball and winning these games with his arm. But now, as we see, if he has to, he's going to go out and use his legs. Even though we wish it would be like Miles Sanders or whoever. I wish Trey Sermon would be on the roster. We'll get to that eventually, I'm sure. If I had to pick a pariah to game, I would say Shane Steichen, though. I don't think this was a great offensively called game by him by any means, especially compared to what we saw through the most of the season so far.
All right. Eagles Diva, what you got for us?
I'm going to say Brandon Graham.
Okay.
Without Brandon Graham making that last play. Yeah. So, that's my player.
All right. Jake. And Miss Swoop.
Well, I got to go with Rowdy and with Wyatt. I mean, Jalen Batman Hurts. I mean, just in the fourth quarter alone, he ran 8 times for 49 yards with the 23-yard scramble, after 2-minute warning, 3-yard run on 4th and 2, and 7-yard run straight up the middle for that touchdown. Wyatt already said it. He is the leader. He's 24 years old. What is this, his 3rd year on the team? That's amazing. We were so behind the whole game, and he just picked it up for everybody. There were, and correct me if I'm wrong, 0 interceptions, and he threw 18 for 25 for like 190 yards. That's an amazing leader. I don't want to compare him to any other quarterback because he is on his own. And I agree with Brandon Graham because my other honorable mention would have been the entire defense on the Eagles. They were crazy good. I mean, come on. It was that one, was it 75-yard touchdown in the first quarter? And then after that, they held him. 4 sacks. Brandon Graham with the killer right there. Our 2 new ones, Sharon one. I mean, that's what the Eagles do. Jalen proved himself to be, in this game in particular, the leader. I think Diva mentioned it before. I would not like him to run the ball so much because I don't want him to get hurt. But I do appreciate where he picked up the slack, where there were maybe just mistakes. I mean, like Brown dropping the ball. It happens. Kelsey, snap too high. Stuff happens. I understand that. And he was able to absorb that and somehow transition it into a win later in the game. So, Jalen, Batman Hurts, player of the game.
All right, there we go. Mike was tripping for a moment. So I'm going to go with actually 3 players. I'm going to do a Wyatt and Jay Swoop this. So the first player I'm going to go with is Quez Watkins. Way to come back and bounce back from a poor performance last week. He was our leading receiver in this game. Got the touchdown for us, made the play. So I'm happy with the fact that he bounced back and that Hurts still had the faith to go to him, even though because it wasn't like a drop. It was a fumble. It was a dumb play to get up, but hey, it happens. I'm also going to go with the 2 new guys in Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh. And the sack was great, but even without the sack, you come in, you asked to play a major role. You're asked to be guys to be run stuffers, advanced age guys. These aren't guys that are in their peak anymore, but they're able to come out and, do what they needed to do. They can play together. They can sub in for each other. They were able to absorb enough of the playbook to be effective and play a decent amount in their first game on the team, be on the team less than a week. So I just want to, say those to me are the players of the week. If I could pick a Pariah of the week, it's going to be the same guy I could pick every week, and that would be Jonathan freaking Gannon. This guy is getting so bad that they had to, as Wyatt said earlier, bring in somebody to help him. So when you start having to bring in an advisor, we know what that means. So get it together, or John, you may be a DB coach somewhere next year and not a defensive coordinator.
Arlington might be looking. Who knows?
Arlington's always. They should always be looking, right?
Just saying.
You're not wrong.
Who do we get? If we get rid of him, who do we get?
Probably Vic Fangio.
Dude, all we have to do is wait for the season to end. There will be a plethora of guys.
Once we win the Super Bowl, it'll be
to come and be our defensive coordinator. Season. Yeah, we don't even have to worry about who is going to be right now.
Is he contractually done this year?
It doesn't matter. Fire him and pay him. It doesn't matter.
Fire him and pay him. Great.
I don't know. Didn't one of the Arizona Cardinals offensive coordinators get fired for doing? I won't even say it on here. Something bad to a woman in Mexico, and boop, he was booted. So he can lose a job just like that.
Yeah, if you do something like that,
banging broads in Mexico? What? I didn't hear about that. Somebody.
He was.
Yeah, you can look that up, Robin. And
there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
The Eagles podcast.
Yes, sir. All right, so we're gonna hop into something a little different here, guys. We haven't done this quite yet, but we're gonna talk about if the season ended today, right? And we're actually going to do this for the NFC and the AFC just because a little flavor. We have a couple of people that watch that are maybe not fans of the Eagles, but they just love us so much they can't help but tune in and hear us talk. We'll give them we'll just dang a little carrot at them, give them a little something to listen in for, right? Because all viewers are good viewers. So here we go. Playoff picture. We'll start with the AFC because the NFC is the most important, of course. So in the AFC, right now, their overall number 1 seed is the Kansas City Chiefs at 8-2. Second, which I think they actually should be first, but Tua got injured. Yep, and they lost a few games. The Miami Dolphins, absolutely, at 7-3. Third place, the leader in the AFC South, a team that we are going to see in a few weeks, the Tennessee Titans. Fourth, and the division leader in the AFC North, the Baltimore Ravens, also at 7-3. So then it gets a little interesting. So we have the Buffalo Bills, also 7-3, but because of the loss to Miami, they're in the 5th seed. The Patriots are 6-4. I don't know how this happened, but they are. They're the 6th seed.
This
Who's
gets
their
crazy.
quarterback
This gets
now?
crazy right here. Hold
Mac
on.
Jones.
Say it.
Just flip a coin, and whoever it is, that's who the quarterback is. And then we have the Cincinnati Bengals in 7th place in the AFC. Now, the teams that are right behind them, I'm only going to do teams that have at least 5 wins. If you don't have at least 5 wins now, we're not going to talk about you. That's just going to be the New York Jets. They were, higher, but the loss dropped them down to 8th. And then the Chargers are 5-5. So, guys, is there any particular team that sticks out to you? Anybody you think may make a move here in the AFC side? I know it's, we don't really talk about them much, but just anything off the top of your head. If not, it's cool. We can move on. Just wanted to give you guys an opportunity.
Don't really pay attention to the AFC. If it ain't the Eagles, I'm not really following.
Yeah, I mean, the teams that you really got to look out for.
Podcast, so I'll keep my comments to myself.
Please don't.
No, Eagles right now. That's all this is. Be elite, man. I'm, real.
All right. What do you have to say, Wyatt? What you got?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the real teams you gotta look out for is like the ones you mentioned first, like the Chiefs, the Titans, the who else was Dolphins, teams that have high caliber, high powered offenses. Now the Dolphins, I wouldn't say they have a great defense, but man, that offense can pretty much score on you any drive you have. I mean, similar with the Chiefs as well.
Not against the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about the Eagles though right now, but I'm saying like the Titans. I feel like the Titans are always getting overlooked too. I think they have a really good defense. Their offense, even with Ryan Tannehill, has been very efficient. Even with losing AJ Brown, because they have Derrick Henry, they lean on the run, and they have the play action pass and everything. I think they're a team that can be overlooked though. I think they're, I wouldn't say a complete team because they lost AJ Brown, but the Titans, man, I think a lot of people are overlooking them. And I think that's going to be an interesting matchup when we play them here in a couple weeks.
Absolutely. So I'll tell you why this is important, guys, and why, we say, oh, it's Eagles. Are we expecting to go deep into the playoffs? Are we expecting to have a possibility to win a Super Bowl this year? I think everybody here would agree with that, right? So one of these teams from the AFC we're going to have to play and beat to get that Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Right? So we should be paying attention to what's happening over there so we can kind of be ready if we get to the point that we hope we get to.
Listen,
so that's what's important about
you think I ain't paying attention?
Right? I don't know if you're paying
I
attention.
got shit to say. I just don't want to say it because this is about the Eagles, man.
I'm focusing on the people that are watching, Rob. I'm not
these people, just trust us. We got this. Eagles all day.
All right. And then we're going to go over to the NFC. And I just want to first bring out a little pettiness toward Rowdy Rob. Rowdy Rob was the one person when there was 4 of us here on the panel who was adamant that the Eagles would not lose a game and that we were going to go undefeated. That thought did not age well, Mr. Rob.
I had all the faith.
Jinx.
All the faith.
So just want to make sure you remember that you were the one that was adamant about that.
Oh yeah,
so on to the NFC.
Think they can do it again. I think they'll do it next year. I'll say they'll do it the next year. It's like a Cowboys fan saying, "Yeah, this is our year." Who the fuck is going undefeated nowadays?
Whoa, dirty word. Dirty word.
Dirty word.
Penalty on Rowdy.
It's the same shit.
You are 1 second away from getting muted right now, Rob.
NFL team will go undefeated. Come on. That's never going to happen again in the history of the NFL. One of these years, the Cowboys will eventually win something. If it's on the skin of their ass, they'll win something again in the future of time. There will be no undefeated teams in the NFL ever again.
Rob.
There's no need for it. There'll be a team that'll be a top seed or a 2 seed. Them seeds will be locked up. They'll rest their starters week 16, week 17.
We have to do this. You put the Eagles in a sentence with the Cowboys. That is a foul on so many levels.
Did you mute him?
I did. I muted Rob. That is disrespectful, sir. As an Eagles fan, you put us in the sentence with the Cowboys. How could you do such a thing to us? All right. We'll wait for Rob if he comes back. But now on to the NFC. We have, of course, the 9-1 Philadelphia Eagles. First in the NFC, first overall, number one in the NFC.
Couple game
East as
lead
well.
on it too, it's a nice little cushion.
Nice 2-game cushion because the Vikings have lost to us. So that's pretty much a 2-game lead, being 1 game above them. Number 2, we still have the Minnesota Vikings at 8-2, number 1 in the NFC North. In third place, we have the San Francisco 49ers, who everybody's now calling the greatest team ever.
Because it beat a depleted Arizona Cardinals team.
A team that we beat as well. Just want to point that out. Yeah. And they are 6-4. Now they're first in the NFC West, I think, because they have a better conference record, even though they have the same wins and losses as Seattle. Fourth, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 5-5, first in the NFC South. All right. And now we go to our wild card teams as of today. Dallas Cowboys 7-3, second in the NFC East, destined to stay there. New York Giants, they're 6-7-3, third in the NFC East. They may or may not stay in sixth place because you still have a couple of matchups with the big dogs. Yeah. And in seventh place, we have the Seattle Seahawks, 6-4, second in the NFC West. Now, on the bubble, and again, we're only talking about teams with 5 wins or more. We're not going to 4-win teams and all that. They got to win a couple of games to get up on the bubble before they're even important. We have the Washington Commanders at 6-5, last in our division, but they're the first team out of the playoffs right now. So that's something interesting to watch. And then the Atlanta Falcons are 5-6. They're second in the NFC South. So now we're talking the NFC. So I know we're all probably watching that a little bit closer. So, guys, talk to me about the NFC and what do you guys think about that? And we'll start with you, Wyatt, and we'll just go around to everybody.
Yeah, I don't think this is the same situation as the AFC at all. I think the NFC is far weaker at this point than the AFC. The only teams, if I had to choose any teams to really not say worry, but teams that like it's going to be a tough matchup in the playoffs if we have to play them, is the Vikings and Arlington if we end up matching up with them. I am not really worried about anybody else. I'm not worried about Jimmy Garoppolo and those 49ers. I mean, maybe their defense, but I'm not worried about Jimmy Garoppolo. And some of these other teams, they haven't been impressive this year. I mean, I know anything could happen. It's playoff time whenever it comes around, but the Vikings, it's hard to beat a team twice in a season, let alone 3 times. So say if we beat Arlington, it's going to be hard to beat them a third time in those playoffs if we end up matching up with them eventually. The Vikings, I mean, they're one of the best teams in the NFC. We have beat them once. I think we do have the formula to go out and beat them again. Have kind of a repeat situation from 2017 a little bit. I even thought about it the other day. If how crazy would it be if things line up and it looks the exact same? Like we get that bye and we end up having to play the Falcons if they slide in. And then we play the Vikings. And then, but obviously the Super Bowl, Patriots are not getting to the Super Bowl. We don't got to worry about that. But that'd be crazy if that actually happened because it's a possibility them Falcons getting hot at the right time. But yeah, there's really only 2 teams there in the NFC, I would say you really got to kind of worry about.
Right.
Yeah, you can't trust Kirk Cousins.
Completely.
1 o'clock only.
Pretty much. Eagles Diva, what you got?
Yeah, basically pretty much what Wyatt said. Like, there's really nobody else in the NFC besides Arlington and Minnesota that I'm really worried about. I mean, if we had a bad day, maybe Atlanta, you know what I mean? And even maybe Minnesota. But I feel like as long as we go out and do what we did when we played Minnesota the first time, hold Jeffries, defense stay locked in, offense is firing. I feel like we good on that. I always feel like we're good on Dallas, especially now. I'm not worried about Dak. Anyway, so that's really like the 2 teams that I feel like might give us a problem in the NFC. NFC is really weak this year. There's nobody that's like, oh my goodness. Like we have the Patriots or Tampa Bay, like they're garbage. So, yeah, that's really it.
All right, Swoop, what about you?
I agree. I agree with Wyatt and what Diva said. Same thing. Minnesota Vikings, maybe the Arlington Cowgirls. Not sure. But you know what? Don't count the New York Little People out of it either. The Giants. I mean, they got this far for a reason, just like we did. So after tomorrow's game, I'll know more. So, I mean, even though they're in the NFC East. Please, Giants, please beat Dallas, please. I won't be able to handle it if they lose, please. So someone's going to win and someone's going to lose, but I agree with both of them. So Minnesota, Atlanta, every time I look to them to win, I don't know what goes wrong with them. I'm like, what happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? So Minnesota, Giants, and Arlington in the NFC.
And what's funny, what's interesting about everything is the Cowboys and the Giants, or the Arlington football team, as I like to call them, or as so Swoop affectionately referred to them, the Arlington Cowgirls, both work for me. Play the Giants, right? So one of those teams is going to be 7-4. Seattle plays the Raiders. Okay,
Vipers.
So Seattle should be the biggest Vipers. Yeah. They should be winning that game. Then you look at Washington and Atlanta play. So one of those teams are going to be either Washington's going to be 7-5 or Atlanta's going to be 6-6. So we could actually see some movement, depending on if Atlanta wins or not. We could see Washington win that game and propel themselves into that top 7, possibly with Seattle maybe moving up and the Giants or the Cowgirls possibly sliding out.
Give us Washington in the playoffs. And like all that shit they were talking after this last win, it's going to come back. Because just wait. If we have to see them, it's going to be a reckoning, man.
It better be a reckoning after that.
Washington toy soldiers. That's them.
It's crazy.
So I love this thing with the NFC is that everybody is flawed and it's notable flaws. That's a fair statement, Scrub Zero. The important thing for me is I'm not too concerned with the flaws now because I believe in game by game. So last game, we didn't play the best that we played. We didn't play the best, obviously, against the toy soldiers. So I'll go with that. I like that too. But my thing is every week, just don't do it again, right? So this week, we're 1 week closer to getting Davis back and putting him in a rotation with Sue and with Joseph. So we get those 3 guys in a rotation, 2 of them at a time, maybe just subbing in for each other, right? We get Jordan Davis a little bit more time on the field as we see the importance of him now that he's not there.
Maybe Robert Quinn will show up at some point.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, you've got pieces. It's just a matter of them, gelling together. Quinn may be seeing more attention because he's known. So he may not be looking he may not have done as much, but it may just be because he's being focused on. I'd have to go back and watch. I think it'll
help getting Avonte Maddox back too. I think that'll help a lot. I mean, Josiah Scott's been playing all right too, but man, Maddox, he's been playing great.
Yeah.
That's where I was going next. Missing Avonte Maddox, I feel like it's hurting because that may be the reason, and I'm not trying to make any mistakes or make any excuses for Jonathan Gannon. We know I do not do that. But he may feel more comfortable with him being in without Maddox to play more soft zone. The problem with that is the handoffs are not good, right? When they're handing off the people between the zones, that's where we're seeing the windows. That's where teams are getting us with the plays. We've got to go back to man. If Scott can't play man, we got to find somebody who can until Avonte Maddox is ready. We've got to do the defense that's going to work, that's going to help, and we got to adapt more. But I think it's still tight. No one's clinched, but we're where we should be, still sitting at the top. We got the loss out of the way. So now we can focus on playing football. And that's pretty much what I feel like we need to do. Anyone with any other comments on if the season ended today?
I just wanted to add on to what you were saying is the past couple weeks since Maddox has been out, it seems like some teams are getting some bigger plays there kind of in the middle towards the sideline, like on both sides. It seems like that's where if we're holding their run or holding them to third down, that's where they're kind of attacking more and picking up those first downs. So I feel like they definitely need to figure out something with how long he's going to be out.
Yeah, pretty much. But hopefully we get it done. But guys,
Mhm.
on to the meat and potatoes, the Packers game preview.
Ugh.
So we are playing the Green Bay Packers and broken thumb Aaron Rodgers on Sunday night. I'll be
He's
covering the
getting the
game.
excuse out of the way early.
Yeah, you can hop on the channel here and check out. I'll be doing the play-by-play for that game along with Key and Coach Dante as I've done the other two. So tune into that; it'll be a lot of fun. But for the game itself, Christian Watson has come on. The Packers have a solid run game. We are susceptible to the run. We've been better, but we are susceptible to giving up big plays. Rodgers already has his excuse out the way. So the thing is, he's hedged his bets with this. This is a smart move by Aaron Rodgers. You're playing the number one team in the NFC and the number one team in the NFL, right? So you go out and you say, oh, my thumb's broke, but I'm going to play through it. And surgery's not an option. I'm just going to tough it out. So if you go out there and you throw the ball bad, you have a bad game. Oh, his thumb's hurting. It's broken. He's playing through. He's such a tough guy.
Wah,
You go
wah.
out there. If you go out there and you play well and you win, even with a broken thumb, he's able to push through, and the Packers have a win. Oh, Aaron Rodgers is just the greatest. And then we have Stephen A. Smith running around talking about he's a bad man and all that foolishness. So, from a PR perspective, because his PR rating has got to be like -40. Like he's not looking good. So this is a way to try to start building himself back up, right? But I think for the game itself, we've got to handle the run. We've got to make sure that we don't allow Watson or whoever's going to be in a slot, because that's where we've been susceptible. Whoever's playing in the slot, whoever's being covered by Scott or a safety on the other side, those have been where the plays are going, because
Slay
they're
been
not
letting
really
those slot plays like big time.
Slay
Well-
been flat-footed as hell.
But here's the other problem. Slay,
Mhm.
they're putting Slay in situations where he's supposed to have help over the top. So he's playing under. He's getting beat over the top because the help's not there.
Mm,
So
yeah,
instead of putting him in that zone, just let him play man. That's the kind of thing I'm saying. Like,
you would think.
Slay should be better. We'll go ahead and put up Alyssa's comment. Hey, I
Well,
agree.
that's why I
We'll
say
probably be on
Aaron
the edge of our seats.
doesn't know how to call plays for the defense that he has. Like, he has the perfect safeties and cornerbacks, but he doesn't know how to tailor his plays to them to fit them.
Mhm.
So that's why Slade just sometimes be all over the place, like he be getting burnt, but he really don't, because he need help over the top. He ain't up, but he's short, so he needs help over the top. You know what I'm saying? And he helps down under, so that's Gannon's fault, man.
Or if you're going to
Yeah.
put him over the top, you can, but allow him to be over the top. Don't put him under where he's already at a disadvantage, and
Right.
then be surprised if the over the top help is not there in time that the play is happening.
Mhm.
And that's the kind of, like you said, Eagles Diva, that's the kind of things that are kind of
Those are the
ticking me
big
off a little
plays I'm
bit
talking
about what
about.
we're doing. Yeah. And a big play doesn't necessarily have to be 20, 30 yards in the field, right? It could be 30 and 5 and you get 7 yards because that's a first down.
Yeah.
So you want to limit those type of plays as well as the run. So we're not giving up a lot of like big plays unless it's, again, one of those situations where you see like CJ, GJ, or one of the other safeties coming over the top attempting to help and not being able to get there in time. And then, big plays happen. It's happened to Bradbury on a play last week as well.
Mhm.
You have to allow the guys to play to their strengths. You have to call plays to their strengths. Same thing with offense. We're a running team. Why are we throwing the ball 30, 40 times a game? It's a matter of just not getting back to doing what's best for us. So these are the type of games that you can lose if you go out and you play that way. We don't want to lose this game. We don't need to lose this game. We could have lost against the Colts, and we've had several other games, let's be real, that we could have lost. We found a way to win. I love the team for that. I'm excited to where we're at, but we have to really come out and say, this is the week. This is our get right game. We talk about other teams having get right games. This should be our get right game. This is a Green Bay team who has injuries, quarterbacks hurt, and I don't know the wisdom in coming out and saying your thumb's broke, because if I'm a defensive player, every time I get back there, I'm hitting your hand.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If I get
Yeah,
close to you,
exactly.
I'm tearing that hand up.
Yep.
So, yeah. But hey, when you want to be the savior and you want to be this great guy, you have to say and do things like that. So what do you got?
Well, Green Bay, their defense, they have a lot of talented players, but they play poorly. So I blame that on the defensive coordinator. I don't remember his name, first name, then his last. I don't remember what it is, but they have a lot of first-rate players, and the defensive coordinator does not play them. So that's going to be at their disadvantage. Jalen Hurts has been exploiting weaknesses in other teams all season. I expect him to do that with Green Bay. I would expect Aaron Rodgers to be sacked, and I'll say it at least 4 times. I expect at least 7 pouts that I'll see on camera because it's not going his way. He's just one of those quarterbacks that he just is not happy, whatever. And Cool touched on it. Broken thumb, hurt thumb, whatever. You're already making an excuse, and it's not even a win or lose. What does it matter? Win or lose. If your thumb's hurt, don't play. Don't already make an excuse, because that just tells me you're going to lose, and that's what you're going to blame it on. And you know what? No one likes us. We don't care. A win is a win. We're going to win because you're 4-7. We're 9-1. I saw the game against the Colts. Wasn't pretty in the beginning, but we did what we had to do. We've learned from it. It'll go forward. So good luck, Aaron Rodgers. You're going to end up on your ass at least 4 times, I'm sure. So, and Brandon Graham, I hope you're one of them.
Well, Scrub Zero, if I can hop in here right quick, that's what we mean by get right game, sir. We mean a game where we go out and actually do play a whole game because we're playing an opponent that's going to give us an opportunity to do so. But that's what we mean when we say a get right game, a complete game of good football. Because, I mean,
that's not going to be the Packers, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, it could be, because if we go out and we do what we need to do all game, this could be a good get right game for us.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, I took it different. I'm sorry.
Especially after what they did to the Arlington football team. If we go out and we beat this Packers team.
Oh, my thumb.
Just remember this. If we go out and beat this Packers team, y'all are going to want to look at my my Instagram, my Facebook, and my Twitter next week, because I'm going to have some things to say to some Cowboys fans.
Oh, I can't
wait. Lots of things to say. I'm going to get booted out of at least 3 NFC East groups and a couple of NFL groups with my comments.
Well, you better be at least 5 or it's not worth it. Come on.
Well, I mean, some of them may agree with me, so they may not put me out.
Do it.
All right, Eagles Diva, talk to us.
I mean, I think as long as we come out, for one, on the defense and get pressure on Aaron Rodgers and go after that hand, most definitely just getting in his face and really putting pressure on him, spying on him a little bit. I think that, you know, as far as the offense goes on that end, we can shut it down. We got to watch Watson, because Watson was like the main one that was catching balls and just running on Dallas. So you definitely got to shut him down. But besides that, I mean, don't get me wrong. Aaron Rodgers is a good quarterback, but he's not Aaron Rodgers he was 3, 4, 5 years ago at all. I'm hearing about some psychedelic drink he was taking called seizures. So you don't never know what you're going to get out of Aaron Rodgers now. He is getting older, you know, playing in Green Bay and that cold for so long takes a toll on your body. So I'm not really impressed with Aaron Rodgers at all. But you do got to watch those bombs, because he does have an arm. So when he does throw those bombs, you make sure that you have enough receivers, defensive players down on the other end to shut that down. As far as offense, as long as we come out, run the ball, and then start opening up some middle plays, some pass action plays, I think that as long as we get started good in the beginning and keep it rolling and play and call the right plays, we'll definitely be fine on offense. I'm not too worried about that. Even if we struggle a little bit, we seem to always find a way to get it together and make things happen. So definitely not a game you can just go in and be like, oh, we're going to beat them. Definitely not one of those games. You still got to stay on your toes, because we 9-1. We're the only ones 9-1. We got caught slipping with Washington. Almost got caught with the Colts, so we can't go in there doing nothing stupid. No stupid play calling on either sides of the ball. Hold on to the ball, you guys. This is game 2 that somebody's dropped the ball.
Right. Don't stand there and hold it. Come on.
Please, time to start securing the ball. Please don't drop the ball. And I think, and the penalties, if we could definitely cut down on those, because those killed us as well. You know, penalties can win you a game as well. So definitely no more of those. Offense, cut them down to 0 if you can. And I think we'll be good. But we definitely need to stay on our toes always from here on out. Like, no underlooking a team. Always overlook them and be prepared.
All right, what you got?
Yeah,
man?
I mean, Steve pretty much said it all. I just hope that the defense comes out, continuing what they were doing at the second half of last week, shutting down that run game. They do have a lot of young receivers that aren't proven. I mean, what's his name? Watson. He's really come out these past couple weeks. But for the most part, they do have a pretty young receiving core that it's inexperienced. They haven't having a lot of great catches. They've been having a lot of drops this season. Aaron Rodgers getting pissed at him all year. But this is Aaron Rodgers. You know how great of a quarterback he can be, even with a broken thumb. Like you said, he can throw the deep ball. He can put the ball exactly where it needs to be on certain occasions. So he is dangerous. But with some of the vets we have in the secondary, I think they're going to be able to kind of cover up some of these young bloods. And I think the main thing is the offense. They need to get going early, get some momentum. Like Diva says, run the ball, which opens up that pass game. Then you'll have time to get it to Quez or AJ or Devontae. Don't have Miles Sanders trying to block dudes like you had last week. That's what caused the fumble. There's no reason Miles Sanders should be trying to block Yannick Ngakoue. It's not going to happen. And that's why Jalen Hurts got blindsided and fumbled there. So, I mean, like, it's just a little bit more preparation. It seems these past couple of weeks, it seems like they haven't really been coming into these games very prepared. So hopefully they took this week here and really kind of dove in and solved and see what the issues are and try to correct them and go out here to an electric atmosphere at the link, which you know it's going to be, and go out here and just blow the doors off the Green Bay Packers.
Amen.
Hey, screw up. Don't drop the baby.
Straight up. I don't know what's been going on. These dudes been eating popcorn before the game.
I don't know. It looked like they were just holding the ball standing there in the last game.
At the point, it's like if you make a big play, you make a big catch, just get down, man. Don't
move.
Don't
Don't get up and do nothing
It's fine sometimes. Yeah, it's fine sometimes. You get tackled. It's fine. Also, ball security. And the good thing about it is we haven't had any interceptions the last couple of weeks. This should be a game where we can change that, because we do know, for one thing, Aaron Rodgers has a little bit of that gunslinger in him. So this should be a game where we're able.
But he's got a broken thumb, so
He's still got a gunslinger though.
Yeah,
he's going to go for it on some plays, and you could take advantage of it.
Yeah. Well, we're still Philly, so bring it.
The last two games, we haven't had teams that have really done that. So that's what's hurt the turnovers. If you really look, these last two games, they haven't taken a lot of shots. It's been intermediate and short passes. They haven't really gone deep. That's how they've been beating us. They've taken they've taken one or two shots at a proper place that they already determined before the game. But they're, for the most part, going short to intermediate passes on quick routes to get the ball out, or taking like a fast receiver and putting them on somebody like Slay, who's, still a really great corner, but he's not as young as he once was. And he's expecting help over the top. It can't always get there on time because stupid zones. But I feel overall this is a good opportunity. This is a game that we can get a one-up on the Arlington football team, because they got a what pretty good by them. So we go out there and we handle business. We beat you. Teams we're playing in common, we're also winning. And the teams that beat you, we're giving them a little bit of work, buddy. So anytime we can throw a couple of shots that way, man, I'm all for it. Now if we go out there and we lose the game, hey, got to come back and say, hey, we didn't do what we should have done. Got to talk about why we didn't do that. But you know what? I'm not even going to put negativity in the air. We're going to be on here next week talking about how we did what we were supposed to do.
We've only had to do that one time.
And we got another dub.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, honestly, I would be fine with losing another game somewhere in the regular season.
Right.
I'd rather it happen in the regular season
than
where it matters.
Postseason.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, that was my last thoughts. Guys, you can just go, whoever wants to. Any last thoughts before we get off here for the night?
I'm good, man.
Burn game. Let's get it.
Let's go. Hey, just want to say hi to my brother and my mom and dad. They watch every week.
Nice,
Thank you for watching.
Hello, brother and mom and dad. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for
watching.
Every week.
Cool.
Y'all have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Fly, Eagles, fly. Hashtag be elite. You
already know.
It's because of my dad. I'm here, born and bred.
Bring a friend, tell a friend. You know how we do.
Absolutely. Every week, let's just make the party bigger.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody who's watching, everybody who will watch the replay, everybody who opted in the comments. Nothing but love to everyone. Y'all know how we do. And Scrub Zero says it best. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Appreciate you,
Happy
Scrub.
Thanksgiving, Scrub Zero.
Absolutely. Man, another week. And guess what? They can try to censor me, but guess what?
Do it.
I don't listen.
Come on.
Green Bay Packers.
Yay!
That's what's up.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Alyssa. We appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate that, Alyssa. Always
See you
enjoy
next
having
week, Alyssa, when
our
we
fan
win
on with
against the
us.
Packers.
Absolutely. And now we'll go ahead and take things out of here. Fly be fly, hashtag be elite, all that. Make sure you share. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. Like the show. Make sure you sub. And we'll be back gloating again next week. Fly, Eagles, fly.
The kick is away, and the kick it's good! And the Eagles win!
It's hard to come to South Philadelphia and leave here with the win. You just don't come to Philadelphia and leave here with the win.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you. Let the celebration begin.